Copying other people's settings won't always work perfectly for you, and I've seen a lot of people in other YouTubers' comments asking them for their ALCs, and the reality is it might not work for you the same way it did for them. So after doing some research for myself for this video to properly understand what each of the settings in the ALC tabs does, I finally gained enough knowledge to share with you. So today I'm going to help you to understand what ALCs are and how to find your own settings. And now I'll be explaining step by step what each of these does in the ALC tab. So first, you're going to want to turn your customs look control on. I'll just turn mine off, turn it on to see what you want to do. Okay, because I've seen a lot of people say that they don't see it on their own console. So all you need to do is just turn it on. It's right there. For those who did. Alright, Deadzone. The Deadzone is how much strength you need to move your right stick. Let's say I max the Deadzone. It will basically be a large boulder, and if I set it to 0, it would be a flower. I'm sure that you cannot move a large boulder with your strength, and you could easily move flowers or grass with your strength, but it would be extremely sensitive. That is what basically the Deadzone is. The Deadzone is basically how much input you need to move your right stick. The lower it is, the more sensitive, and the higher it is, the harder it is to use, which is why I use the large boulder and flower for the example of the higher and lower, so that you can better understand. You do not want to max out your Deadzone, because as I said, it will feel like you're moving a huge boulder when you try to move with the right stick, and you don't want to go above or too far above the recommended line, which is right here. You don't want to go above 16 too much, but as I said, this is just my recommendation. This might not work for you, or it might work for you, which is why I'm explaining what each of these does, so that you can find your own settings, not mine or other YouTubers, yours. Okay, alright. The auto threshold is basically how quick your stick will read max input in any direction you move it. That is your right stick, of course. The lower it goes, the more pressure you need to put, and the higher it goes, the less pressure you need to put on your right stick. It mostly helps with tracking enemies from left to right. This, as everything in this video, is up to you. I play on 1%, others play on max, others play on 0. As I said, it's up to you. That is why this is called finding your settings, not my settings, your settings. Okay, the response curve is how dull or how twitchy your overall sensitivity is when moving your right stick. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, I can't explain this properly, to be honest, because the research I did on this one, no one explained it well, and Google is awful. So basically, and Reddit really didn't do a good job of explaining this properly, because they said that I had the values to explain it properly, and I still don't understand what the hell this is. So basically, this thing, response curve right here, made my head hurt trying to understand, so I don't really know how to explain it. I'll probably leave a link or a title card in the description, or a title card in the video, finding out if I find that video properly explaining how or what the response curve is. Overall, for these three right here, the Deadzone, the auto threshold, the response curve, you're going to want to go into the firing range and practice a lot and tweak, and you're going to want to do a lot of tweaking to find what's best for you. Even with me explaining in this video what these three are to the best of my ability, you will have to tweak and change yours to find what's best for you. I would recommend for your Deadzone lower than default or default. Auto threshold, I would recommend 0 or default, or anything in between, what feels best for you. I don't recommend using what I'm using, because this is what's best for me. And for the response curve, I recommend default or under default by 3 ticks, 4 ticks, or maximum 5 ticks. I use 7, as I said. Do not use what I'm using. This is what works for me. Per optic settings, you're going to have to turn this on. Genuinely, I'm gonna be real with you, this was just me messing around with this and finding what I like the most, and yeah, this is just what works for me. If you want to have it on, you're going to have to turn it on. It's going to be on off, like everything on this ALCL tab. It's going to be on off, so you're going to want to turn it on. These are really easy to explain, unlike the 3 before that had me on Reddit for an hour trying to understand what those are. Yaw speed is how fast you go to the right or to the left using your right stick. as it says right here, how quickly the view turns left or right. Pitch speed is the speed of going up or down using your right stick, as it says right here, how quickly the view looks up or down. This is down to personal preference of how fast or slow you want to go to the left or to the right or up or down. If you want to max this out and give yourself motion sickness every time you move your right stick, go ahead. There is no recommendations for this. These won't mess with your aim, but the 3 before will mess with your aim. So you have to fine tune those carefully so that you don't get worse at this game than you were before. Changing your LCL settings, turning it on. Turning your extra pitch speed, I have those on 0. I tried them once, I really didn't like them. As I said, my personal preference, I really don't like them. If you turn those on and find it to your liking that you like them, then sure, as I said, this is what works for me. I'm helping you to find what? Your settings, not my settings, yours, okay? An ADS yaw, an ADS pitch speed is basically when you're aiming down sights, how fast you look to the left or to the right, that is yaw. Pitch, how fast you look up or down when aiming down sights. That's basically all. And as I said, the turning extra yaw, blah blah blah, ramp up, I leave those off because, as I said, I don't like them. You might like them, I don't like them. Target compensation, you're going to want it on. Do not turn this off, turn this on as well. Target compensation style, you are going to want this on default. You're going to need that aim assist, okay? You do not want to play on PC aim assist. I tried this for a couple times. It improved my aim when I turned on back aim assist, but it was kind of rough, to be honest. It was rough, not gonna lie to you. And yeah, I hope you learned something from this. This is just me going over the ALCs and explaining it, because I see a lot of people in the YouTubers comment section saying that they want their ALCs and what works for them won't always work for you. So it's best to try to understand for yourself, try to make something for yourself, because as I said, what works for me won't work for you. It might work for you, it might work for some, might not work for someone else. You'll never know. So until next time, this has been Playboy Sasuke. Hope you have a great day, and until next video, have a great day.